Claire, ignored and underestimated by her elitist family at her sister's wedding, is humiliated with a back table seating. Secretly, she is a high-level government diplomat. When a princess she works with arrives unexpectedly and shows public admiration for Claire, the family realizes her true worth. Chaos, apology, boundaries, empowerment, promotion. Boom. The flowers smelled like money and approval. That was my first thought as I stepped into the ballroom. Roses stacked like walls, chandeliers glittering like someone had bottled pride and turned it into light. Every inch of this place whispered legacy, elegance, worth. I stood at the entrance a moment too long. A girl in a headset almost bumped into me with a tray of pearl-trimmed place cards. She didn't apologize. People like me absorb impact quietly. We always have. My name card did not sparkle. Paper. Thin. Forgettable. It read Claire like someone had sighed while printing it. I followed the map of tables, passing groups bathed in soft gold. Laughter that sounded rehearsed. Champagne bubbles kissing crystal. Handshakes that looked like negotiations. Everyone belonged to the world my family worshipped. Then I reached a darker corner. Beside swinging kitchen doors and a staff station, hidden behind a sculptural tree. Table 17. My seat. My punishment disguised as logistics. A waiter brushed past with a tray of flutes. One shook and spilled a drop on my sleeve. He didn't look back. My family had set the tone long before anyone arrived. Claire, a voice floated behind me, honeyed with performance. Vanessa, the bride. My little sister. My parents on either side of her, shining with pride like they owned the night. You made it, she said, voice bright like I was a distant cousin. Sorry about the seating. There were complications. I'm sure, I said. My voice stayed soft, steady. I had practice. Mom leaned in, eyes darting to my dress. Something polite flickered across her face. Approval? No. Just relief it wasn't embarrassing. You look nice, she said, which in our language meant, at least you tried. Dad smiled like this was a PTA banquet, and I had remembered to bring cookies. Our overachiever, he said gently, as if humoring a child who once won a spelling bee. They drifted away toward chandeliers and senators. The space around me filled with clinking silverware and soft music. In my pocket, my work phone buzzed once, then again. A secure vibration pattern. Urgent, but discreet. I didn't answer. Not yet. Let me have this humiliation fully first. Let it settle into my bones. Governments waited. My mother's judgment never did. Someone at a nearby table whispered, "Is she alone?" Another replied, "She always is." I smoothed my dress. Navy, understated, diplomatic. I did not need sequins to matter. My life glimmered elsewhere. Quiet corridors, foreign embassies, decisions that shaped continents. And here I was a seating afterthought. The string quartet swelled. A door opened to announce the bridal party preparing to enter. People leaned forward, glowing with anticipation. My phone buzzed again. 3 signals in rapid sequence. They need you. I exhaled. My humiliation had been served. My composure tasted like iron and grace. Time to answer the world that actually knew my name. The marble bathroom felt colder than the ballroom, like it understood secrets better than chandeliers ever could. I locked myself in a stall, pulled out the secure device, and pressed the encrypted line. Adler, I answered, using protocol tone. No warmth. Duty first. A familiar voice came through, calm as diplomacy required. Ms. Adler, this is Ambassador Navid. Her Highness has landed. Motorcade is 10 minutes. A beat of silence stretched, heavy with context. She was coming. Here. To this gilded circus. Confirm protocol restrictions, I murmured. She insists on informal arrival. No announcement. Strict discretion. Of course she did. Princess Amira loved breaking rules people mistook for walls. We had built a friendship inside those fractures. Understood, I said. Prepare minimal footprint. 1 sweep team, 1 medic, no formal receiving line. Already done. She asked if you received her note. My fingers brushed the envelope inside my clutch. Thick white paper. Gold crest. Handwritten warmth. I had read it twice in my car before coming inside. It had made my throat tight. Tell her yes. And thank you. We disconnected. Duty off. Reality back. I lifted my head toward the mirror. People imagine power looks like glitter. It does not. Real power wears quiet fabrics and stands alone when it must. My hair was pinned neatly. My lipstick unshaken. My eyes held the calm of someone who walks through international airports with red-line documents and smiles at prime ministers. I did not look like someone banished to a kitchen table. Back outside, the world glittered again. Guests gathered for speeches. My cousin Jennifer waved her champagne flute like a scepter, laughter sharp and performative. She spotted me and smirked. "You're still here," she said. "Thought you'd get bored." "I don't bore easily," I replied. "Lucky you." She leaned in. "By the way, if you want, I can introduce you to Richard's accountant. He's single. Stable. Nice enough. You'd get along. A match. A consolation prize dressed as kindness." I smiled softly, because diplomacy trains your muscles to do so even when your heart clenches. "Thank you," I said. "But I have meetings with heads of state. My schedule is tight." She blinked, confused. Laughed as if I had told a joke. Walked away, still laughing. I took my seat at table 17. Someone's father asked me, "So, what do you do again?" in the tone you reserve for asking a dog its breed. Before I could answer, the first speech began. Laughter boomed. Glasses raised. The world congratulated itself in glittering sound. Then the air shifted. The kind of hush that does not belong to weddings. Security eyes near the entrance straightened subtly. The staff radio crackled low. And outside, engines slowed to a regal hum. Arrival. I lifted my champagne, not to toast, but to steady my hand. 10 years in diplomacy, and I still felt adrenaline before a royal entrance, even an informal one. Nobody here knew what was coming. Nobody expected the center of gravity to walk through those doors and change the oxygen in the room. Least of all my family. The first sign was silence. Not the polite pause before applause, but a silence that fell like velvet, heavy and undeniable. Heads turned toward the entrance. Servers froze mid-pour. Then she stepped inside. Princess Amira of Cassima. Crown jewel of her nation. Scholar, philanthropist, razor-sharp political strategist wrapped in silk and grace. Tonight she wore emerald satin that moved like water over stone and a tiara that could quiet storms. She walked without hurry. Royalty never needs speed. The world adjusts its pace instead. Gasps rippled. Recognition bloomed slow, like light moving across a room. Phones stopped midair, unsure if they were allowed to breathe, let alone film. The Wellington family table stiffened as if aristocracy could smell a higher altitude approaching. Her eyes found mine immediately. Her expression softened. For a moment, it felt like she saw me alone in the room, saw me past the navy dress and the dim corner and the childhood of not enough. She crossed the ballroom, not towards the head table or the senators or the Fortune 500 board member. Straight to me. Each step a quiet condemnation of every judgment cast tonight. Claire. My name in her voice felt like silk ribbon tied around a wound. People inhaled sharply. Vanessa froze halfway out of her chair. My mother clutched her pearls, the ones she wore like armor. I stood as protocol demanded. She kissed both cheeks, unfamiliar warmth blooming across my skin. "I am sorry I missed the ceremony," she said softly. "Government matters held me hostage." A playful glint. Our private language. But I told my staff nothing short of a diplomatic crisis would stop me from attending your family celebration. My family celebration. That sentence detonated more quietly than a bomb, but with similar force. A judge whispered, "Who is she?" and his wife whispered, "Someone we misjudged." Princess Amira looked at my table card. Her brow lifted, delicate but devastating. "Here? By the kitchen?" Her voice held no anger, only subtle disbelief. "Which hurts more?" I answered evenly, limited seating. Families prioritize couples. A tiny smile ghosted her lips. Interesting priorities. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. True power never does. Staff scrambled. A coordinator nearly tripped over a floral arch. My mother began mouthing explanations toward no one who could help her. Princess Amira sat at table 17, in the dark corner, beside me, as if it were the obvious, rightful place. "I prefer here," she said, settling. "It seems far more honest than the front." Across the room a senator stood, unsure if he should greet her. The confusion was delicious. Rich people hate not knowing the rules. The orchestra faltered for a beat. Then everything resumed like nothing happened, except everything had changed. And every eye kept flicking back to us, like magnets drawn to truth. Quiet revenge had arrived, wrapped in silk and patience. The wedding program marched on, but the room wasn't listening anymore. Speeches blurred. Laughs rang too loud, too forced. Every guest watched us discreetly, trying to pretend they were not watching. Princess Amira touched her glass lightly, eyes scanning the room with that serene curiosity she used with prime ministers who thought they hid secrets. She leaned toward me. "They underestimated you," she murmured. "Spectacularly." "They always have," I said quietly. "They do not see what does not shine for them." She considered that. "Then let us give them new light." The best man finished his speech. Applause scattered like dropped coins. Vanessa rose next. She looked nervous now, mascara trembling at the corners of her eyes. She spoke of love, support, family strength. Then she said, "Some people take longer to find their purpose. And success is not the same timeline for everyone." Her gaze flicked toward me like a blade coated in sugar. Princess Amira took a slow sip, eyes narrowing almost imperceptibly. "Interesting," she murmured. "She speaks like someone who has never stood alone." "I stood alone years before she wore her first gown," I said softly. Moments later my mother approached, hands clasped like she was greeting a queen in church instead of a monarch in silk. "Your Highness," she breathed. "We did not expect." "Of course not," Princess Amira said pleasantly. "There are many things one does not expect until they are shown." Mom swallowed hard. "We would have arranged a more suitable seat had we known." Princess Amira looked at me instead of her. "Claire has always been suitable." The sentence cut without raising volume. My mother's face wavered. Pride battled embarrassment, old armor cracking. Vanessa approached next. Lips trembling, but chin high. "Your Highness, welcome to our wedding." Princess Amira's smile was gracious. "Thank you. It is an honor to celebrate your sister." Your sister. Just that phrase. A reminder of priority, of value, of blood ties people forget when blinded by gold. Vanessa's smile wobbled. "Claire did not mention. She does not mention many things," Princess Amira said. "Confidentiality is a trait of those who carry responsibility." Across the room, I saw Richard frown. Then I saw the moment he put the puzzle together. Recognition. Calculation. Fear of embarrassment. Corporate ego colliding with royal protocol. He approached stiffly. "Claire, perhaps we should move you to a more appropriate seat." Princess Amira answered before I could. "I chose the seat. And I stay where I choose." It was not volume. It was not anger. It was a fact. Gravity disguised as kindness. Vanessa's lip quivered. "We did not mean to," I lifted a hand gently. "Diplomacy. Always diplomacy before explosion." "Let us not rewrite intentions," I said. "Your choices were clear. And so are mine." Then the music swelled for first dance. Lights dimmed. Eyes stayed locked on us, forgetting the couple spinning in chiffon under a chandelier. The night was no longer theirs. It was truth's turn. The dance ended. Applause scattered. And like a wave finally breaking, whispers surged across the ballroom. Phones came out despite etiquette. The Wellington matriarch beckoned Richard urgently. Crisis mode among elite families looks like smiling teeth and clenched pearls. Jennifer stormed over, face pale. "Claire, what is happening? Why did no one know you work with a princess?" "Because my job is national security," I replied mildly. "Not dinner conversation." Her jaw dropped. "You could have said something. You could have asked." Gasps. The kind that rip from people when they see the world tilt. Princess Amira stood, glass in hand. She tapped it lightly. Crystal chimed like a bell calling Judgment Day. "If I may," she began, voice elegant and calm. "I traveled across continents because Claire is family. She has been by my side during crises that never reached your news. She has shielded my country's dignity more times than some governments have in decades. Silence. Real silence. Like air waiting for permission to move. She commands respect from heads of state, from generals, from ministers. Her discretion protects nations. And yet here, she was placed beside a kitchen. Several guests flinched. My mother's hand shook against her champagne flute. Princess Amira's voice softened. In Cassima, those who protect our kingdom sit closest to the throne, not behind a curtain. I felt something crack open in me. Not pride. Recognition. The soft ache of being seen after years in shadow. Vanessa stepped forward, voice trembling. Claire, I never meant to hurt you. You did not need to mean it, I said gently. Impact does not wait for intention. Tears spilled. Real ones this time, raw and small. Her mouth opened, but words failed. The groom placed a hand on her back, trying to salvage dignity she dropped long before the princess arrived. Mom approached next. Claire, darling, we were trying to give the best impression. To who? My tone stayed soft. Soft hurts more. Strangers you wanted to impress? Or your own daughter? She faltered. We thought you were fine. You always seem fine. There it was. The curse of competence. If you never fall, they never offer a hand. I breathed slowly. Fine is not the same as valued. Dad's eyes were wet now. We are proud of you. You are proud now, I replied. After someone else told you why you should be. Shattered. Truth dismantles pride like water wears stone. Princess Amira touched my shoulder gently. You do not owe explanations tonight. I nodded. The strength felt foreign. Heavy. Beautiful. Turning to my family, I spoke quietly. I'm not angry. I'm not dramatic. I'm tired. Tired of shrinking so you feel tall. Tired of earning love like it is a currency exchange. Gasps again. Whispers rose like smoke. My boundary is simple, respect or distance. Then I placed my glass down. The stem did not tremble. And I walked toward the terrace with the princess beside me. No dramatic exit. No storming. Just quiet sovereignty. Sometimes the loudest rebellion is grace. The night air wrapped around us, cool and forgiving. The city glittered beyond the terrace like 1,000 small promises. Inside, panic hummed like bees trapped behind glass. Out here, everything felt honest. Princess Amira handed me her glass. You handled them with more discipline than some diplomats. I spent a childhood practicing diplomacy without knowing the word, I replied. Surviving family politics is training. She laughed softly. True. But tonight was not just survival. It was choosing yourself. I let that settle in my chest. It felt strange. Heavy. Liberating. My phone buzzed once. I silenced it. Then it buzzed again, persistent. Finally I checked. A coded notification. Promotion approval confirmed. I stared at it, then pocketed the phone. Funny how victory arrives quiet, like a shy guest. The terrace doors opened. Vanessa stepped out, eyes swollen, shoulders shaking. She did not wear bridal glow anymore. She wore truth. And truth is always humbling. Claire, she whispered. I am sorry. Not because she defended you. But because you deserved it always, and I never saw it. I studied her. My sister. Tears smudging expensive mascara. Trying so hard to be perfect her whole life, she forgot how to be kind. Do you really mean it? I asked. She nodded. Yes. I was insecure. You felt so calm and capable, and I needed to feel like I had something you didn't. It was ugly. I am ashamed. Pain flickered. Recognition too. Jealousy does not always look like hatred. Sometimes it hides as superiority. You do not need to ask for forgiveness today, I said. You need to practice it in the days after. Her mouth trembled, but she nodded. I will. She touched my hand lightly. Can you still come to family dinner next week? I gave a soft, tired smile. Not yet. But ask again when respect is your habit, not your apology. She swallowed hard. Fair. Princess Amira watched quietly, then murmured, growth begins in discomfort. Let her sit with it. Vanessa exhaled shakily, then turned back toward the ballroom, carrying humility like a new delicate thing. Silence returned. Stars blinked. Somewhere inside, glasses clinked nervously. The world realigned itself around a truth spoken. Princess Amira lifted her glass. To women who do not need to shine to matter. To those who build worlds no one sees. To quiet power. To choosing yourself, I added. We clinked. Soft sound. Steel resolve. I looked back through the window. My family sat smaller now. Not diminished, just seen correctly. Imperfect humans learning slowly. And me no longer asking to fit there, only deciding when and how to visit. Some victories are loud. Some are quiet. And some sit in the soft space between, where dignity holds your hand and says, you did not need them to clap to be enough. I breathed in the night. The city lights. The freedom. I did not win tonight. I simply remembered who I was. And that was more powerful than applause.